against Evil Corporation. So obviously that's kind of the quick recap right there in case you happened to miss yesterday, of course. But the winner of this series in this best of 3 will, of course, move on to play Evil Corporation. And what is a best of 5 with Evil Corporation up 1-0 in those grand finals. So obviously that's what's ahead of us here today. So it could potentially be a longer day, and honestly, that would be just fine with, again, what is on the line here. So looking forward to some good action here as Complexity and Fresh is kicking off. Obviously, we are developing into the draft here, but before we get too much into it, of course, got to introduce my co-casters for today. That's right, going to be joined by a couple once again. First, I'm joined by Snewy again. How's it going, man?
Oh man, oh man, oh man, we're finally here. Oh, it's official. Final day of the playoffs tonight, after tonight at least. One will become two. Who will join Sync Esports to their journey to Thailand? Can't wait to find out.
It's exciting, man. It is, but it's also nerve-wracking, I'm sure, for these players. But at the same time, you got to focus. So hopefully that's what they're here doing. We are also joined by another co-caster, as I mentioned. We're actually joined by Zlapt here of Sync, of course. Zlapt, how's it going, man?
Besides being sick, I'm doing just fine, thank you.
You're a little sick there. I know you were in Thailand recently, actually. You just got back here. So is it from that, you think, or just in general?
Yeah, no, I got sick by the AC, like going from, because it was so warm, 45 degrees, and then going into AC, 20 degrees.
Yeah.
And then being sweaty and stuff, it just ruins your body, so.
Gotcha.
Well, now you're ready at least.
Yeah, kind of got ready, I guess, for when you eventually do go out there to compete, so. You can look at it that way, I guess. So, no, but we're happy to have you on, obviously. I know you've kind of been doing your thing here. I know you've been still doing the stream thing, of course, but you guys had a little bit of a break when it comes to some tournament matches here. But you're going to watch some good Han now with us today, so happy to have you on.
That's the bad thing about qualifying first, because you get like a month of no tournaments. And like some people have said, don't you feel that you don't get any practice and stuff like that? And no, we don't get tournament games, So that's the bad part about qualifying first. But at the same time, it's nice just sitting here and, like you said yourself, enjoying some Han games and not have to worry about not going there yourself.
Exactly. So you're already going. You guys are good to go. So, all right, let's start talking about this matchup now. Of course, again, two teams going at it in Complexity and Fresh. We've developed into the draft pretty well right here. So let's take a look. How did this start here? Was the Wild Zoophilia, Warbeast, and Tundra Bands. Magmus into Parasite, Hellbringer into Parallax, and Magebane into Deadwood. So interesting stuff happening here, including that Parallax most noticeably. Zlapt, I'm really curious here. So what do you think of this draft here so far?
Well, I'm not surprised about the bands at all. Like Sandwraith and Pebbles are the heroes that Mint have been playing all the time recently, and Subforest and Moira, I don't really see the reason behind the Moira at all, but that's just me, maybe. I'm still talking second band phase, that is.
That's right.
But as for the draft itself, typical coL, Mag, Hellbringer, Magebane. But they have been playing a little bit Mag Jungle, I think, in scrims recently. I'm not sure if we're going to see that this game. Because they still haven't picked up a jungler. Tempest is available. But as for the draft itself, Magebane to counter Parallax, like it's pretty much the best hero against Parallax. But at the same time, Parallax is also good against Magebane before Geometer's Bane. So if Mint manages to take off early game, then they could definitely take over the game. So I would say that Mint's laning phase / early game is definitely better right now than Complexities. But then we also don't know how they're going to lane. You see him right-clicking NG or Cthulhu Font. It would be interesting to see if they would long lane Cthulhu Font.
Yeah,
but no, I think I favor Mint's lineup for now. But at the same time, Magebane is Magebane, like game Magebane, who beats that. So no, it will come down to the laning phase this game and how well Mint is able to take off, because they do have that Parasite still.
Deadlift, let's go. Let's go.
Deadlift.
All in, baby.
Ooh, that would actually be really strong.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the lineup, the composition in whole, Deadlift would make a good fit here. The question is, though, do they dare to, when this kind of game has that kind of magnitude behind, like it is a qualifier spot to Thailand on the line, so I feel like perhaps they're going to go with something they are a little bit more familiar with, perhaps the Cthulhu Font. There's a lot of magic damage, though, in this Legion lineup, I feel. Not too much physical damage. Do you think that Magebane is going to be able to hold his ground on his own when it comes to the late game?
Yeah, for sure. Like, they don't mind just having Magebane for... Yeah, they don't mind having him as a solo physical. Deadlift, Cthulhu, and NG are the only 3 viable picks that are going to pick. Yeah, I like Deadlift.
Boy.
And they used to play this hero a lot. It's been nerfed, so... we'll see how it works out, but at the same time, you always have to consider that Parasite gets completely hard countered by Deadlift. Like, he can't do anything if he buys Puzzle Box. So it will be interesting to see if he goes the Codex build or just Aura build, because sometimes when I play against Deadlifts, I go Astro Demonic straight away in Abyssal, you know? Because
Is this something that Complexity
bad.
normally does, by the way? Pick up the deadlift?
No, not anymore, but they used to.
Yeah, they actually are pretty notorious for hating deadlift, but every now and then they would pick it up just because they know how strong it can be. So, but yeah, as Laps was pointing out, I mean, they have ran it before. It's not like completely out of the ordinary necessarily. But Dark Lady, the final pick, by the way, for Mint, of course. So we get our classic Dark Lady versus Mage Main matchup in the end for game number 1 here. But strong finish for Mint, I would think, especially. Probus gets his hands on a very solid hard carry, of course, when it comes to it. So, but I'm honestly still caught up with the Parallax. Like, we saw Ban twice yesterday. We've been talking a lot about this Parallax in general lately. Sloske plays it very well. Is coL going to regret giving up Parallax, you guys think?
What did you say the blind bands were again? Because I missed that.
God, what were
Tundra, Wild Soul, Warbeast, and
Wild
something
Soul.
I can't remember, the fourth one.
Wild Soul, Ophelia, Warbeast, and Tundra. So.
Yeah, I would definitely leave Wild Soul and ban Parallax instead.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, Parallax is just so goddamn strong right now, and Wild Soul is not. Like, I think a lot of people are forgetting that he doesn't share damage with Boo Boo anymore. And the thing about Wild Soul before is he had like a 1200 HP pool, and then he shared it with the Boo Boo, and that's why he never died. Now he can actually die, especially if you have like a Deadwood on your team. So I would rather have given away the Wild Soul and banned the Parallax, I think.
Okay. Well, they give them the Parallax in a sense, but as you were talking about, I mean, they did, of course, pick the Mage Bane, so at least they kind of got a way to deal with it, and is the argument there. And look forward to some big mana rifts. I'm sure that's what they're hoping on throughout this game. So it can do a lot of damage, obviously, with that mana pool of Parallax and it building up here. So no surprise, we see a pause here to kick things off as far as game number 1 goes. And, I saw this in yesterday's series as well, especially in the game 1s. There's a lot of talk going on, and they're kind of having fun. They're maybe a little excited and amped, but as it kind of goes on, the tensions kind of start picking up. When the pauses happen again, it's like, really, it's not BMing, and you start to see a little bit of the trash talk coming out. And
it always happens though in really big tournaments like LANs. There's always trash talk and mind games.
Yeah.
So when you're qualifying to the biggest event of the year, it's gonna be that, because it's so easy to tilt someone. Like, it's very, very easy. Like, as a spectator, you don't see that, but a lot of players in the scene are easily tilted. I was back in 2013, but I learned the hard way. So.
What about Dream Summer?
Dream Summer. Oh no, we weren't tilted then. We just sucked.
That was Clanks.
Oh yeah. Oh no, don't go back to that, Breaky.
Hey,
No, Clanks.
Well, in all honesty, we might see Clanks in the grand finals even now, today, later on. So
they ran it recently, and it actually did win them a game against BMG in the earlier round. So the potential is there, yes. But
seems like the teams are ready to go at least. What can we expect from Legion to lane here? I mean, they got a very offensive draft now with the deadlift, or do you perhaps even see him taking a more defensive route here in the early stages of the game, or do you think that they're just going to go all out on the push?
They're setting this up very, very weirdly. Like, it looks like they're defending their own jungle, of course, but I'm not sure. Like, I feel like, like, if you can shut down Deadlift early, because he can as a Parasite, like, it's not until he gets level 4 where it's really, like, hard for a Parasite. So if they long-laned Empath, Parallax, and Parasite this game, they could shut down the Mage Bane. They could also annoy the Deadlift for the first, like, 4 or 5 minutes and, like, really, really, like, ruin their early game. And if Parasite is in the enemy jungle, then Hellbringer has to be really, really afraid mid. So I personally would have preferred them to do that, because I don't see Deadwood getting any experience bottom here.
Yeah.
And by the looks of it...
And Magnus got monsters first, by the way.
Exactly, and I honestly think Oscar's just going to start bottom and get first blood here. But he will get spotted by the ward.
Yep, not going to be a secret anymore, so Deadwood, gotta hate when we have these two heroes in the game. Deadwood here is ideally going to know what's up, and so shouldn't get bloodlusted.
So the biggest thing about this game is that Complexity's lineup is 100 times better when it comes to team fighting. So if Mint doesn't win early game, then they pretty much will have a very hard time getting back in mid-late game. So this will be interesting to see how the laning phase goes. But they're setting up to win 2 lanes now on mint, and well then sacking the Deadwood. And coL is setting up to lose, well technically farm less than the Parasite and then lose 2 lanes. But that's expected because they still have Mage Brain, they have mid late game. They just want to delay the game.
See Deadwood right here, different guy taking the path of the trees, gonna leech experience here. Off to the side, it seems like.
Yeah, Buddhister is gonna find him though.
It's like, wait a second.
Seems that way at least.
This isn't normally here. Let's go adventuring. Hey, there he is. All right, so yeah, with the boots only on Deadwood, he needs to be a little careful here. He is gonna find his way out though, and be fine. How about that, by the way, Voodoo Chester, the support for complexity? We didn't really talk about that too much, but not your everyday support, but coming in the hands of Love here, and more of an aggressive support. Do you think that was a good option of the Voodoo Chester?
It is a counter to the Parasite to a certain extent. They did pick Deadlift for their final pick as well, but it's always good to have 2 tools to deal with them.
I disagree. I think the Voodoo Yester became completely pointless after Deadlift, because it did, like, people have been picking Glacius and Voodoo Yester against Parasite forever. But more recently, Mint has been picking a lot of Voodoo Yester as well against Parasite. And when they pick up Deadlift, that's just, like, obsolete. The hero won't do much. But if she gets an ulti off, then obviously that's great and all. But Cursed Ground is not going to have an impact this game, and neither will the Cocktail?
Yeah.
What about the Spirit Ward?
Cocktail.
Oh yeah, the ulti is able to channel it, yeah.
Like, if he ever gets an ulti off, that's great. Like, a Void Talisman on Voodoo Yester this game will be amazing. Both against
top
Deadwood.
lane, by the way. Seems
Yeah.
like there is a little bit of action happening. Or Parasite is here in the neighborhood, just lurking in the trees, but it seems like they are a little bit hesitant.
Not going to go for it, just falls back. Yeah, they're looking to apply some pressure, but I think Oscar was a little too aware of it. He does have those boots, so able to get the speed out of there and be fine for now. Of course, Empath, not much you can provide against ganking this Magnus either, so not necessarily the best for ganking a Magnus. Let's perhaps get the silence off first and then enough lockdown following, but pretty difficult task. So both suicides really, I mean, a little bit different play. You know, Magnus is getting some farm here a little bit at least, where Deadwood is more just sitting in the trees for the most part, avoiding Voodoo.
That's because Mag is such a great hero against Empath. He just steam buffs away. Like, but when Dark Lady gets boots, then he won't be able to get back to lane. I didn't actually pay attention to top lane, so I don't know how they lost lane control, but they should have been able to keep Magnus level 1 with the help of Parasite. But now that he got levels, he can start roaming, because he just wants level 3, because now he can get his stun off from decent range, and he's happy, so personally I think it's good. He's doing great up top for now. But when Dark Lady gets boots, he has to leave the lane.
Yeah. Yeah, you see Striders right there picked up by Oscar, so that'll be coming out now. How is this middle lane going? Really haven't talked about that too much. 14-8 Hellbringer versus an 8-5 Parallax, so Fuzzy having the much better here. I mean, is Parallax a strong laner? Like, should he actually be doing better, you think?
Yes. Snowy, do you agree?
I have literally close to none experience with this hero when it comes to laning, so I'm just gonna leave that one for you.
So is it really Fuzzy Sloshes outplaying him then, you think?
I would assume so.
Like,
if Slap says that.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I've never seen anyone lose the lane with Parallax. But I mean, Hellbringer is a great and very strong laner.
Yeah.
And he does have a little, like, 5 to 10 more damage than, well, actually 10, right? Yeah, 10 more damage than Parallax in the start. So sure, that makes sense. But I've still never seen Parallax lose a lane. But I've also haven't seen his matchup. So maybe I'm just, as Snowy said himself, he's also inexperienced with this particular matchup at least.
I must say that I love this ward placement, by the way, down in the bot lane from Complexity. Like, just keeping Deadwood away constantly. Like, he can't even use his third ability to get into the forest simply because of that ward being there, just providing that vision.
He's managed level 3, yeah, but it is.
Yeah, he has, but still, I think that them keeping him in level 3 is still an accomplishment in say.
Yeah. Tied with Magnus currently.
I don't know, Hellbringer is actually destroying Parallax here, 14 to nice. Holy crap.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah, he's on top of it. I mean,
yeah,
I guess...
here we go, by the way, in the mid. There is a lot of
yeah.
action, lots of enemies approaching from the forest. Deadlift got a double damage rune as well, so he's going to try to hit a death grip here. And Magnus coming in as well.
There we go. Parallax, can he escape right here? That Lava Surge is only level 2, so not the greatest range. He is going to make the hit, though, as a Death Grip comes out, and Oscar gets the Bloodlust kill in the end, so just enough damage to take out Parallax there. Double damage rune, definitely helping to secure that kill. Oh.
Yeah, beautiful setup, I think. That Veil drop picked up by Magnus, realizing that he can't stay at the top anymore, combining it with the double damage from the deadlift, just perfect execution. There wasn't much that the Hellborn team could do. Unfortunately, like they don't really, like, this is a problem that I see as well when it comes to team fighting. Like as Slab mentioned earlier, like complexity gaming is coming out ahead way big when it comes to team fight composition. And like, what do the Hellborn team really have to save Dark Lady in those kind of situations? Like, as long as Legion team just jumps all in on Dark Lady, like what is there really to protect him? Like, they're going to need Storm Spirits, and I don't see any of those heroes getting Storm Spirits anytime soon.
It's also the fact that, yeah, they do have a duo core, but like Parallax is getting like completely annihilated here, and it's probably not gonna, like, because you need an early start with Parallax, you need to snowball. And if he doesn't get that, then it's like you said, then it's all about Dark Lady, and they have so many things to deal with one hero. So I agree, I think it's gonna be hard for them, and there's no Storm Spirit hero either unless Parasite does it. I really like the way that cole's draft turned out in the end.
Yeah.
And especially now that apparently Hellbringer beats Parallax in mid lane, which I didn't know.
Well, at least Fuzzy saw
Slaskiduret. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that... it might be Slaskiduret failing to a certain extent, to a small portion at least, but Slaskiduret is one of the most experienced 1v1 players, one of the most talented out there, and he knows this hero well, so perhaps it's just Fuzzlove doing a great job, but might also have to do something with the matchup. That's what I would take from it at least. They got level 6 now on Hellbringer as well. Malphas is ready to use, and Deadlift is in the neighborhood. I wonder where Oscar is. Does he have a... No, he has the Striders, but he doesn't have the Veil drop, so I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, it's
Like,
he has a way to react, as you see right there.
Isn't Parallax able to leap out of Deadlift queue?
I think he can. Yeah, he will actually still be stuck, I believe, but he can actually still port.
Because that was because before, like when he got like bloodlusted, he didn't blink away, and I was like, wait a second, aren't you able to do that? Because I think he would have survived that.
You mean from
But I didn't know, so I didn't want to sound like an idiot.
Well, I think the Magma stun like happened right after the Death Grid hit, so whether he tried it out.
No, he had a good second.
Did he? Okay, well,
yeah.
Maybe it's that USC stun. Who knows?
Well, I wanna know, because. Yeah.
No, but I am fairly certain that you are able to. So yeah, maybe
right.
it is hard to
Parallax
say.
down in the bot lane now, by the way. They're going to try a grasp.
Oh,
Fortunately failing though. I don't think it would have been enough anyways. Unless of course I'm seeing something that...
Parallax does decent burst, honestly, and with the silence, it could have been close. But I mean, he only has 644 lives. So it would. I think it very possibly could have been a kill, but. And they're going to go again, actually, so here we're going to see now. There's a science going in. Parallax, can he follow it up? Yes, he can. Is it enough? No, it's not. He blinks away just in time, and now they're in trouble. That being the side of Min. Parallax specifically, Cursed Ground is on. There's no way he's getting out of this. He is going to... He almost got Madrian as well, but it's not going to be enough. Parallax will fall right here in the long run. So the gank attempt, man, they got close, but you're right, Snooey. They just didn't have enough damage, and it ends up paying for his life on Parallax.
Yeah, no, you forgot the fact that he was on agility boots. Okay. So he swapped his strength as soon as he got grasped. So he had 800 HP.
Well,
still not a lot, but it's like life 2 as well. Like it was hard for them to kill him. With a level 5 Deadwood maybe and a level 6 Parallax, then probably.
Yeah, no, that was.
Regardless, good attempt, but now Parallax is even more gimped. And no, it's looking very good for cole.
Slap, you even brought this up a little bit. Parallax, and I want to say from our short history that we've seen him now on Honcast, this hero really has two different spectrums, like completely. It's either you go big and do very well, or you just fail. And when the times where he does get a slow start, because like you're pointing out, you really do need a snowball with him. He needs that farm time, needs to get those kills and start adding up as time goes on. He is not the greatest at recovery, and unfortunately, as we're going back to for Mitten here, he's now 0-2-0, 166 goal per minute. That's not good news as your kind of semi-carry here, secondary carry even. Parallax. He's gonna find Voodoo Jester, but it's just not even close to enough damage, and the support coming in fact, Malphas is gonna be used, and now Parallax once again going to fall. The struggle continues for Slaska here. A little bit of pressure from what you got onto Deadwood, but is it going to be enough, actually? He's going to keep chasing. It might be enough.
Well, yeah, unless he gets any support from his teammates, then probably going to be enough.
No, the tree! Oh, that would have been huge if he turned that and survived, but he just barely gets killed. Oh, that was a hell of an attempt, though.
From a different guy trying to survive.
As I talked about earlier, Parasite decides to go with the non-puzzle blocks build with Astrolabe, so we're going to see an Abyssal into Bulwark. And Deadlift does not skill W against Parasite, so I don't even know what that's about. Maybe he doesn't expect it until later. But yeah, as you mentioned about Parallax, the importance of snowballing is because his E builds up mana stacks, and that's why Parallax doesn't really
Oh,
know.
bottom lane. Grasp gonna hit 2 people.
Yeah, they're trying to get a kill out of this finally on a deadlift, and it is going to come through. And, I mean, look at Probuska actually has. Oh, the tower does go down to their favorite. Magma stuns through. Is there going to be follow-up? Mageman does blink in. He does have a mana rift. Want to be the most damage right here, though, as now Empath with the Essence Link on a Magnus are going to catch up with the wrong grasp as well, and he will fall. The fight continues in the background over here. Hellbringer and Voodoo Jester trying to keep applying pressure, but that did not work for Complexity. A 2-for-0 in favor of Mint there, actually. Definitely good for them. And as I was saying, though, Probus, man, 440 gold per minute. He is doing very well here on Dark Lady.
Yeah, no, it's the saving grace of the team for sure.
Well, they really need his success.
Yes, they're still in a certain amount of trouble. Ah, he got a port out now delivered from the corridor, so he's fine.
He's
even gonna play the sneaky port. Yeah, I love it.
That might as well at that point.
It looks like, oh no, he's stepping out, yeah. But yeah, no, the Parallax. So the reason the hero is so strong is because you build up these charges and you can like 2-shot waves all throughout the game. Like Soul Stealer can 2-shot waves until the 24th minute, right? Parallax can do it throughout the entire game because he gets a bigger mana pool along with his E. But if he doesn't snowball, then he won't get his E spell early enough to build up the charges, and then he's just like a regular half-ass Soul Stealer hand until he can actually do more. So it's really important for him to build up the charges. He still has the silence, he still has good damage, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if you don't build up the charges, the hero is not as good as it needs to be. That's why when he doesn't snowball, he's just not going to do anything.
Well, any magic kind of carry-esque hero, it definitely fits that spectrum as well, and that's most certainly what he is. Even with the staff, I mean, you know, it's getting to that point. You do need that farm to even get there, and that's usually coming a little bit later in the game, if even. So, yeah, it's understandable how the game works. Death Grip attempt.
Seems the Complexity Gaming wants to take initiative here at the top lane.
Yeah, they're not going to hit anyone, though, but they're going to push. Gonna push instead. He does have Onslaught now, by the way, does Deadlift. So yeah, I find that interesting that they get that a little bit later on, but he's gonna have to push this tower here if necessary.
He probably wanted to try and keep up farming with the Parasite, like he didn't want to waste time on W because, yeah, well, Deadlift farms slower than Parasite. So he just was like, we're not gonna fight for a while, I'll wait, and then when we fight, I'll break it in. Because he timed it perfectly with the first push, so
yeah.
That's probably what he was thinking.
Oh, there you go. Easy tower kill. No onslaught even necessary. Just everyone being up there in the
Hellborn team is pushing the mid, though. I don't think the Legion team wants to give this away, do they?
No, they don't. Like, the map control is everything for the Legion team, because if they don't have map control, like, Hellborn's heroes are going to pick them off everywhere.
Oh, that's a major mistake from their part. Like, they wasted so much.
I was waiting for the invulnerability, but I guess it was on cooldown, so
yeah,
they don't use it.
They had plenty of time to react, so not often do you see Complexity making a basic mistake like that. But good news for Mint. They're just gonna catch up now. Deadwood is once again on par in gold per minute with the Magnus when it comes to finding his ball key.
Yeah, they're both gonna have it around the same time, actually, it looks like. So really, both Suicides have honestly managed, pretty decent here with the portal key timings, at least if they stay on track, that is. So
there has been a number of tower kills, so I think that's has to do with
it. That and not feeding. Like, both of them have died once, and they've barely gotten any last hits at all, and then the tower gold on top of it. So if you don't die in 13 minutes, then that's kind of a lot of gold. So yeah, no, they're both getting really close, which is nice. It will be interesting, though, because like both Hellbringer, Deadlift, and Magebane will like wreck in team fights early, and I'm interested to see if Deadlift will just like sit out for Magebane, or if he's just gonna like take out an important hero, or what kind of game plan Mint has. Because in my mind, they're never gonna.
Oh, this is not part of the game plan for sure. Magnus stuns in on top of the Malphus. The curse grounds up Dark Lady. Even with the charging strikes, it did not matter. She just melts right there, and the push going to continue from it. You see over in the jungle, Mint realizing without Dark Lady, that it's not worth taking a fight, and with the resources up here for Complexity. So this is going to be a secondary tower push now on top of it. And I don't know if it's going to be able to hold this.
But at the same time, like, everyone was missing from the map, and Probusk was just farming blind. Like, they had no vision whatsoever in the forest. Empath just put down that ward. Like, you gotta blame his position just a little bit there.
Dude, Legion
or at least question that his teammates wasn't nearby.
Yeah, no, like that will delay his cleaver for another 2 minutes while Mageman already has his farming bottom while his team is pushing base. So that was a really, really big kill.
Slowing him down, the Rune Cleaver is still now delayed as mentioned. So you see Magebane, of course, having his and farming up that bottom lane with it as a result. Fuzzy Sloth continues his trend of getting that sacrificial stone, gets it once again here. onto the Hellbringer. I'm sure the Restoration Stone going to be possibility of next in line here, which obviously very important to have. There's a Porta Key on Magnus 2 now delivered as well. So Deadwood is going to be a little bit behind the Magnus, it actually turns
Well, he
out.
hasn't even moved
Yeah.
in the
I
past
want to go
2
for
minutes or
Dark
so.
Lady here again.
Well, there's a couple of opportunities here. You see in the bottom jungle, also something perhaps breaking out, but oh yeah, let's go down there actually. They do find Love, and they get the kill, but back to the top lane. Magnus stuns in on a Dark Lady actually. The fall for Hellbringer not in time, as he's able to charging strikes away. Empath, however, will not be the same story. She goes down. Parasite, he should be able to get away with that leech right there. Dark Lady's still hanging around a little bit.
That was the problem as well. I mean, they probably could have saved Empath if just Parasite would have been able to leave his creep, but he couldn't because it was controlled by the deadlift, so he couldn't get out. He couldn't use his Astro to save his teammate.
They also could have killed the Dark Lady there, but instead they went for Empath for some reason. Because, like, What You Got used his Q on Empath instead of going for Dark Lady, because at the same frame, Oscar stunned Dark Lady. And then
What a stun from
Oh,
Oscar.
Cover of Darkness is out, though. That could be the saving grace here for a turn, possibly even for a minute. You do see Magnus trying to get a kill over there. Not going to happen, though. Deadlift actually falls as Parallax and Dark Lady do enough damage. Voodoo Jester here, though. The Acid Cocktail, the Curse Ground onto Dark Lady. Parallax deciding to go in. Slotsky, very aggressive move. Ends up costing him his life, as now you see the chase continues for Dark Lady. Not enough damage, though, on Hellbringer. He turns around on the Dark Lady, gets the kill, despite losing Voodoo Jester. Can he get out of here? I don't know if he can.
Oh my god, there's no way, no way!
Are they not going to check there? Okay,
no.
good dust.
Wow, I'm surprised that they didn't use the dust all right away. That was
Jeez.
close. Like, if Hellbringer would have had enough mana, he would have been able to get out of there alive.
Yeah.
Even with that kill, though, I mean, you got to also factor Magebane just continues to push in the bottom lane during all of that. So I think complexity.
Besides,
may
they're
still
playing
have the edge.
45, so they're doing really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and different guy is still to farm his Polki. Like, he's gonna have it here now in the near future, but I'm not entirely sure. It feels like it's almost a little bit too late.
Yeah, I got
I mean, they still have tons of silence since the lockdown for Magebane, but if he gets to farm like this for another 20 minutes, then it's gonna be incredibly hard for him to do anything. Because meanwhile, Cole's applying so much pressure to Probus. Like, Magebane and Probus were equal GPM 2 minutes ago, and now he's 100 above. It just goes to show you what difference, like, the roaming makes.
Yeah.
Because Hellbringer has not been able to do a single play yet, and while I'm saying that, that wood is smoked.
Yeah, Parasite is the highest farmer on the
So
Hellbringer
is
side,
Dark
by the way.
Lady. Oh, yeah.
Oh, gonna be spotted there. He's all of a sudden
Oh, he's
exposed. He
still
jumps
gonna
in
go.
blindly. Oh no, different guy. He is gonna fall right there. Empath now also in trouble. Dark Lady, she's also caught in the midst of it. Oh no, this just gets worse and worse for Fresh right here. The decision making not on point, and that's all because different guy thought he had a chance, but he jumped in fairly blindly. I mean, they never would have side over here, but it was not worth it.
But like, why are they looking for these plays? Like, they're smoking their carry down bottom lane along with Deadwood, like 2v5, and then they just get jumped in the river. Like, there's no reason to. Like we said, they lost early game, right? They don't want to fight this Legion lineup because they have a way better team fight. So why would you just smoke down there? Why wouldn't you just try to get items on Dark Lady?
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense to smoke your carry down bottom and hope to find someone.
Try to get aggressive, and obviously did not pay off.
Yeah,
No.
Bulwark and Abyssal Skull at least picked up on Parasite now. Not that it's going to make much of a difference, seeing as Dark Lady is dead.
Well, they're not going to be able to get the base tower. That's kind of the good news, and overall a pretty bad situation for Fresh right there. But still, the damage done by Complexity. They get their biggest lead now, about 7,700 gold lead, 4,800 experience lead, and some decent items continuing to happen.
Parallax is chasing to a certain extent. I mean, he got Empath riding inside as well.
Oh, they're trying to
I
get
guess for
through there.
Voodoo, I don't necessarily think this is going to work out though. Like, this is so dangerous. He doesn't know for a fact where the rest of the Legion team is. You can see Magebane farming the forest, but that's about it.
You can look by the way they're playing. They're just desperate. They're far behind. Probus is not getting his farm, and they're just trying to make plays to like get back into the game. What they have they have two really strong carries, and then they have Paris at level 13. Like, they're not that far behind. There's no reason to panic yet. Like, yeah.
That is true. Yeah, it does seem like exactly the word I think is perfectly used right there. They're desperate, and yet they're really not. They shouldn't be. I mean, it's as a spectator again, it's easier for us to tell, sure, because we have the numbers in front of us. But you know, maybe for some reason they feel that way. But clearly it's still not the case. They don't need to be desperate. And I mean, Parallax is kind of recovering. He's now 260 GPM. He's
Yeah, I
gonna
don't
have an
think that
icon
Slask
soon.
feels that way.
Yeah.
250, like, he's used for, like, if he plays this one in TMM, he's going to be 500 non-stop, and like in previous events as well, competitive events, like he has been doing really well with his heroes. They're probably feeling that they're way far behind than they truly are. I love the way that the complexity is addressing this game as well. Like they have been constantly putting pressure on the Hellborn side. Just as soon as he got Astron, Deadlift, they've just been roaming around as 4, letting Magebane split push the outer lanes, constantly as being a problem or a pain in the ass for this Dark Lady, just allowing him or not allowing him to farm safely anywhere.
Deadwood?
Yeah, you can also see here that coL is like addressing the game now. We want to get a base tower soon because instead of going Geos, Magebane is going for Shrunken, which he just finishes now. So they definitely want to go for a base push here soon. Probably a pickup.
There's a
base
DD
tower.
here, by the way.
Oh, this is such a deep
Deadlift.
dive, though, and Deadlift is not the easiest target to kill, and it's going to be a turn in the end. Oh, no. That's just another case. The worst target you can choose is Deadlift, and they're doing it very deep right there. I mean, sure, they just did not factor in that people would be nearby, but they were. It was a risk.
Even if they aren't, it's like you said, he has a Abyssal, he has Plated Greaves, and you're a Deadwood. He has 16 armor without using the buff from Plated Greaves. And then they have a PK Magnus with a TP. Like, they have to expect them to have a TP at this point.
Yeah.
So that was just another Desperation play that was completely not necessary. And now they get a free Kong, and, well, they're going to wait 2 minutes and then go for a tower with the next Helbing roll.
It's just clicking for complexity. I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday against BMG, the same thing as Nui and I. You could just tell complexity. They're here obviously on a mission, and they're playing very well as a result. They have been practicing a lot here lately as a team, and I think it is showing here.
Yeah, well, I mean, what they do over and over is usually Hellbringer uses Malphas to get those pickoffs, and then they just go back to farming. They play passive for 2 minutes, and when it's up, once again, they just play a little bit more offensive and they get pickoffs once more. Like, if Fresh really wants to find a window of opportunity, yeah. Like, but if they really want to go for the window of opportunity, like, then they have to do it right after they lose a team fight. I mean, that's the most scary part, but that's really the only time you can strike.
Dude.
Oh no, I meant in a way that like they don't need to go for pickoffs because Mint is making the mistakes. Like they're giving them the picks, you know? Like they're going for plays that are not working out. So coL can just do what you said, use Helbing roll, go back, chill, wait for Mint to go again, and then get another pick and then go again. So yeah, I agree, they're addressing this game perfectly.
It almost does feel like this game is actually a lot longer in. It is only 22 minutes in, but obviously the lead for complexity is, of course, pretty solid all around. Again, it's not a runaway game by any means just yet, but they have a very comfortable one. But you do have a Dark Lady Pro Busk who does continue to farm very well. The decision making sure.
Oh,
You
wow,
see right
he
there.
jumps in aggressively.
And, oh my gosh, he's getting a caught. And Dark Lady's going to fall right here. Nothing he can do. He just used charging strikes. Something just seems off here for a minute. Now, Magebane taking a lot of damage to the Earth Shatter, but in the end, it is not going to be enough. He will survive, and they're going to kind of reset right here with the Observatory. But, I mean, the buyback on Probusk right there.
That was silly. I have no idea what that was all about. I mean, they even got a lane ward down in the midst of the lane. Like, as you guys can see, like, it's just outside of their base. Like, they had full vision on the Complexity squad, and he just strikes in. And he doesn't even have a Shrunken Head, nor do they have any Storm Spirits, as we talked about earlier in the game. Like, they have no saving factor for the Dark Lady. So now he's forced to use a buyback. So
that's huge. I mean, so this idea of him being 150 GPM behind Magebane is now even more, really in the big picture because of that buyback that he used. Well, they're going to try to defend right here. Again, we saw the Earth Shatter damage from Parallax. It's not up just yet. They are going to lose the tower. It's going to come
who do
out
you
about
focus
10
here if you're
seconds.
Hellborn? Like, if you're Deadwood right now, like, who would you want to jump from the Complexity side?
Hellbringer or Magnus, but Hellbringer. If Hellbringer doesn't get ult off, they can possibly win a team fight.
Yeah.
But even then, Magnus will follow up. So no matter who you jump, Deadwood is gonna die.
They just say, you know what, 1 Rax, we can still win a game very possibly. So they'll just give it up right there in the end. But you can't blame them because of how much of a lead now Complexity has. But that's never a good sign either. But yeah, look at these boy
I
talismans,
feel like they had
man.
to go. Yeah, well, I feel like that was their only chance of actually coming back. Like, the window of opportunity is just so small. Like, if Probusk wouldn't have died, if he wouldn't have used that money to actually buy back, he would have at least been halfway or on his way towards the Shrunken Head. But now he's not even going to get it. Like, that was just giving away complexity of free racks for literally nothing. They're just going to continue to go for the bot lane now.
Yeah, like you mentioned before, Breaky, like they only have like physical damage in the Hellborn team besides Parallax. The Void Talismans is completely countering them.
Yeah.
Both Hellbringer and Voodoo Jester will be able to get
Oh, wow. Deadlift melted right there. The Earth Shatter doing some pretty good damage, actually. Very good placement on top of that. The Mana Rift coming out. Yeah, it finally does. Actually takes out Parasite right there. You do see Dark Lady trying to survive throughout this. Magnus dies in the background, actually. So a nice kill right there from Min, but Robust, the other side of it, he gets down the cliff, but it's not going to be enough. He will get taken out in the long run. The focus fire continues. Parallax kind of resetting. He kept the Earth Shatter up, actually. Goes back to the wall. He's done this before, and you see that damage, man. Magebane, though, jumps him and burns all the rest of the mana that he had, but it is just Magebane all of a sudden who has a token, but he's possibly going to die right here, as he does. We'll probably be able to blink away, though. Maybe even blink in. He's like, you know what? I want to get some kills here. He's going for the kills, damn it. It's not going to happen, though. Not going to go too reckless as Formless. Still put pressure on the rack. So, I mean, they used another buyback on Parasite.
He might even get it. Like, no. Probusk bought back once more. Damn, he's forced to use a second buyback just for that reason alone.
Did, yeah. Well, now with that especially, yeah, Complexity actually still pretty happy with the way that ended, for sure.
Definitely. It was 2 buybacks and none used on coL. So that was a great fight for them. And now the Dark Lady cannot buy back for the rest of the game. And there's like what they need to do now is just go straight top. Like there's 1 minute left on Hellbringer, and like running up top will pretty much take 1 minute. Sorry, bottom. They need to finish the racks. Because like they don't want Dark Lady to get her shrunken, and now she has no buyback, so they can just follow her items. So one part now for Dark Lady, almost 2. Yeah, they should go straight bottom. If I was Complexity, I would go straight bottom there.
Kind of just reset and really put the pressure on.
They're gonna find a pickup at the top lane instead. Poor
works too.
Deadwood. He's gonna buy back at least. There's that, but it's starting to feel really hopeless now for the Hellborn team. If it hasn't already.
Restoration Stone on Hellbringer now, and there's just like they just can't like focus down one hero. There's no hero in the Legion team that if they kill that, they're in a really good state, because now they have a farm on every hero. So unless they kill Magebane, which is not gonna happen, it's gonna be hard for them to win a fight.
I think there's been a lot of negative for Min for, you know, probably some good reason, but the only positive that you could see is, well, this is game 1. So they still have hope here, you know, kind of the idea of resetting and be like, all right, game 1 happened, whatever. Let's move on to that game 2 now, because it really has been all Complexity here, coming out of the laning phase especially. And, you know, a mixture of some poor decision making, but also Complexity just really being on point here with their movement. Here they go to the bottom lane now. At least Magebane is with Voodoo Jester. Gonna push it up at least a little bit. But, I mean, I guess Complexity maybe not necessarily really trying to push the issue just yet.
Yeah, last shot right here. Everyone is smoked up. Yeah. They're gonna jump Complexity before they get a chance to reach the racks.
But they know they're missing, though. So, obviously, Complexity's playing is pretty safe.
Can just send in Voodoo as a bait, to be honest. Just run in there and scout for smokes.
Oh, man.
Oh no. Well, Deadwood, he tried to jump Ted Lift right there. Again, not the prime target.
Empath has used his ultimate already.
Oh, wow. DD Magebane.
Yeah, that too. As soon as you see that, you get the hell on out of there, and they do. Do not want to fight that double damage. So they say, all right, we'll kind of reset, and now we'll have to defend our base, because this is this definitely could be the game-finishing push right here.
Yeah, 20 seconds left on the TD. How are they ever going to be able to deal with this?
He actually
he used geometers.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You got us scared there for a second.
Still has Shrunken. But yeah, geometers being down. Magnus eruption. Cover of Darkness. Gonna cause a little bit of issues, and Magnus ends up not going right there. So Voodoo Jester, look at him.
Here's the bait.
Not sure what the plan is there with Voodoo. He goes down. Well, not the best bait in the world. Deadlift is going to be jump right again, take it, but he does die pretty quickly there. Magebane in the background. The Mana Rift for 1388, and it melts Dark Lady as well. That was the worst case scenario. Parallax getting jumped, and the Mana Rift coming out. He does buy back immediately, but Dark Lady staying dead, of course. GG, well played. Game 1 going to Complexity. I mean, really, what else more is there to say? Other than Complexity, they're again on a mission here, and they look dominant in game number 1. But your guys' final thoughts, Nui, start with you.
Perfect execution from Complexity, just continuing the trend from yesterday versus their games versus BMG, where they also played fantastic. It really feels like they stepped up their game now, and kind of like a warning clock almost ticked when they dropped down to loser bracket. They were like, okay, we are going to have to do something serious. Like, we have to step up our game if we want to make it to Thailand. And that's exactly what they've done, because they have just been performing completely Yeah, utterly like not a single mistake. There's not a single thing that I really want to complain about. The draft seems to fit them so damn well, and yeah, ever since Astrolabe was picked up on Deadlift, they just went together with four, just executed their draft just as they were supposed to do. So, big credits to them, of course. Can't help but feel that Mint kind of is dropping these kind of games in a very similar way. It feels like the games from yesterday as well versus Evil Corporation. It kind of feels like they are in ways very desperate at the times, more desperate than they need to be, because Probask is generally farming quite well, but different guys, Slaskitter, they're just used to, like, they're exceptionally good players, but it just seems like every single time they don't get into the kind of position of strength that they want to be in order to carry games. Like, I would love for them to go for some kind of like a dual aggressive mid lane with Prisoner, for example, on Slasky, some kind of more of a playmaker. I know that he was in a 1 versus 1 situation now with a Parallax, and that is one of his signature heroes, something that he should be very comfortable with, but it doesn't seem to be working because different guy and Slasky Dirtist can't seem to work together, finding those kills. It just always falls apart. So I would love to see some kind of dual lanes instead.
Yeah. Well, Zlapt, your final thoughts there on game one?
Well, that was a long story there, so I will just say that, like, when they picked up that Dark Lady, they kind of ruined their early game strategies with the ganks, and when they got Deadlift against them, the only way for them to really get out of early game was to do what I suggested, go long lane Parasite, Parallax Empath, because Deadlift can't do anything to Parasite until it gets level 3 or 4 and actually picks up the W.